Right now, a silent war is being fought deep inside your body, and you cannot see it. Most people stand in front of the mirror and grab the soft fat beneath their skin. They assume that soft, pinchable layer is their biggest problem, their most dangerous enemy to defeat. But that visible fat is not the most dangerous thing currently hiding inside your body right now. Deep inside your abdomen, wrapped tightly around your liver, pancreas, and intestines, lives a hidden killer. This invisible fat is called visceral fat,
and this
it
entire
behaves
glowing system
nothing
is
like the fat
responsible
you
for
touch.
breaking down the synthesized
Visceral
compounds
fat
we
is not
discussed earlier.
soft or harmless.
It's quite
It is
fascinating how it all
biologically
works
active,
in unison.
behaving
While
like a
some
living,
fat cells are
breathing
stable,
organ.
visceral
It
fat
releases
cells are
toxic
highly active,
inflammatory chemicals
releasing
directly
inflammatory
into your
markers
bloodstream
throughout your
every
body.
single hour of every single day. It damages your heart, destroys your hormones, and silently disrupts every major system inside your body. But the most terrifying part is not what visceral fat does to your body every day. The most terrifying part is understanding exactly why your body created this dangerous fat in the first place. This fat did not simply appear because you ate too much or skipped too many workouts. It exists because your body genuinely and deeply believes you are in serious, life-threatening danger right now. To destroy this fat permanently, you must first understand the powerful force that silently creates and guards it. That force is a hormone called cortisol, and it controls far more than you have ever imagined. To truly understand cortisol, we need to travel back in time to the very beginning of humanity. Today, people label cortisol the stress hormone and treat it like something dangerous that must be suppressed immediately. But for nearly 200,000 years, cortisol was never your enemy. It was your greatest survival ally. Imagine your ancient ancestors living in a world full of predators, brutal starvation, and constant mortal danger. When danger suddenly appeared, their brain instantly triggered a powerful emergency system deep inside the body. This system is called the HPA axis, connecting the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and adrenal glands together. The moment this emergency system fired, the body shut down everything that was not needed for immediate survival. Digestion stopped completely, reproduction paused, muscle building halted. Every single resource flooded toward one mission: staying alive. The bloodstream filled rapidly with fast fuel to power the body for a desperate fight or flight. This survival response was absolutely brilliant for early humans living in dangerous and completely unpredictable ancient environments. But here is exactly where this mechanism becomes deeply fascinating and where your real modern struggle truly begins. After surviving danger, the body needed a fast and completely reliable way to refuel its depleted energy stores. Evolution quickly discovered that storing fat in the arms or legs was dangerously inefficient during real emergencies. Heavy, fat-laden legs are the absolute last thing you want when desperately running for your life outside. So your body designed a far smarter emergency storage strategy, placing energy close to its central internal engine. Deep inside your abdomen, your body placed a high concentration of special receptors called glucocorticoid receptors. Think of these receptors as powerful biological magnets specifically designed to attract and lock onto cortisol directly. Whenever cortisol rises in your bloodstream, these receptors act like docking stations and pull fat inward immediately. They lock that captured fat tightly around your vital organs, where it can be accessed instantly if needed. For a hunter-gatherer surviving brutal winters and unpredictable food shortages, this fat storage system was absolute genius. Visceral fat was not always a dangerous problem. It was once a powerful survival backpack for humanity. It was a built-in biological insurance policy your body carried in case disaster or famine suddenly arrived again. But here is the massive and overlooked problem that most people never hear about regarding weight and health. Your biology has not updated its survival programming or internal software in thousands and thousands of years whatsoever. The world around you has completely and radically changed, but your body's ancient survival responses have stayed identical. There are no lions chasing you today. There are no tribal wars happening outside your front door now. Instead, your daily stress comes from work deadlines, financial pressure, traffic jams, and relentless phone notifications daily. It also comes from blue light screens, social anxiety, relationship tension, and never-ending mental and emotional pressure. The threats have entirely changed, but your ancient biological body still responds to them in the exact same way. And here's the critical and devastating difference that is slowly destroying your health without your awareness. Modern stress is not short and intense like the danger your ancient ancestors briefly faced and then escaped. Modern stress is long, slow, and completely continuous, stretching across 10 to 16 exhausting hours every single day. You are not sprinting desperately for 10 minutes to escape a predator and then safely relaxing afterward. You are sitting inside chronic, unrelenting stress for the majority of your waking hours, day after draining day. This prolonged state creates something researchers and doctors now call the deeply dangerous and invisible cortisol trap. Because you remain stressed for so long each day, your cortisol levels never actually return back to normal. Your body lives permanently in a never-ending emergency mode, always preparing for a catastrophe that never actually arrives. Your liver continuously releases glucose into your blood, preparing your body for a physical fight that never comes. But since you are never actually running or physically fighting, that released glucose has nowhere productive to go. Your pancreas immediately steps in, releasing insulin to urgently clear that dangerous excess sugar from your bloodstream. And this is precisely the moment where the truly deadly and inescapable biological fat storage loop begins. Insulin is your body's primary storage hormone. When both insulin and cortisol are simultaneously elevated, something brutal happens. Your body takes all that unused and circulating energy and stores it directly into your visceral fat deposits. You become biologically trapped in a dangerous cycle that your body cannot break without meaningful outside intervention. Your body keeps preparing endlessly for a famine or disaster that will absolutely never arrive in your modern life. And while it prepares obsessively, you unknowingly keep supplying it with more and more fuel for dangerous fat storage. But the full story of how cortisol systematically destroys your body composition does not stop even there. Chronic and persistent stress creates another devastating internal disaster, something researchers accurately call the pregnenolone steal effect. Cortisol is so completely critical for your survival that your body always prioritizes its production above absolutely everything. To manufacture cortisol, your body depends entirely on a master raw building material called pregnenolone every time. But pregnenolone is also the exact same critical raw material required to produce all your important sex hormones. When your stress remains chronically high, your body does something absolutely brutal to your overall hormonal health. It steals pregnenolone directly away from hormone production and redirects everything entirely toward manufacturing more cortisol instead. Your stress chemistry grows powerfully stronger, while your testosterone, estrogen, and reproductive hormones completely collapse and crash. This is precisely why chronically stressed people suffer from persistent mood problems, low energy, and deep hormonal imbalance. Your body is not failing or broken. It is simply following its ancient and rigid survival programming without question. Survival always sits at the absolute top of your body's internal priority list, and everything else pays dearly. This devastating hormonal cascade leads directly to the very recognizable body type that doctors now call skinny fat. These individuals appear visibly thin in their arms and legs, but carry a hard, distended belly instead. Their stress levels are so persistently high that their bodies literally begin consuming their own precious muscle tissue. That broken down muscle tissue converts into glucose, and that glucose gets efficiently stored as dangerous visceral fat. Their bodies are not simply gaining weight passively. Their entire composition is being completely restructured around ancient survival priorities.
We are looking at
But the cortisol trap continues going even deeper than this, reaching directly into your brain chemistry and cravings. Chronic stress also powerfully triggers the release of a brain chemical messenger called neuropeptide Y every time. This molecule exists for one single biological purpose, to make you urgently and powerfully crave carbohydrates constantly. It is absolutely not weakness, lack of discipline, or poor personal motivation that makes you reach for sugar. It is millions of years of ancient survival programming firing inside your brain with overwhelming, primal biological force. Neuropeptide Y sends your brain a clear and urgent message that energy is being consumed under active threat. The fastest and most reliable way to refuel your depleted system is always through dense, calorie-rich carbohydrates. You are not fighting bad habits when you desperately reach for comfort food during moments of high stress. You are fighting ancient survival chemistry that evolution specifically designed to keep your ancestors alive at any cost. That is precisely why this entire cycle feels so completely and utterly impossible to break on willpower alone. Your brain sends hunger and craving signals every bit as powerful and primal as the instinct to breathe. So the real and urgent question now becomes this: how do you actually escape this ancient biological trap? How do you finally convince your body to unlock and actively burn this deeply protected emergency fat storage? The answer is definitely not starving yourself. It is also not punishing your body with endless grueling workouts.
You simply cannot eliminate visceral fat by piling even more stress onto an already overwhelmed and exhausted system. Extreme calorie restriction and obsessive cardio only push your suffering body even deeper into its dangerous survival emergency mode. Long and exhausting cardio sessions can biologically mimic the relentless stress of an endless, desperate survival hunt. This response raises your cortisol even higher and convinces your frightened body to grip its fat even tighter. To finally burn this deep and dangerous fat, you must send your nervous system a completely different message. That message must be simple, clear, and repeated daily until your body begins genuinely and deeply believing it. The message is direct and powerful. You are safe now. The emergency is over. You can finally relax. Your first and most important mission is to completely and fundamentally redefine how you approach exercise and movement. High-intensity exercise absolutely has benefits, but for a cortisol-overwhelmed body, it can create serious additional damage. The most powerfully effective tool to reduce stress hormones while still consistently burning fat is ancient and simple. That timeless tool is walking, and most people severely and consistently underestimate how genuinely powerful it truly is. Walking gently and effectively breaks the dangerous stress loop without triggering the fight or flight alarm inside your brain. It allows your body to slowly and steadily access fat for fuel without generating additional dangerous cortisol output. Anthropologists genuinely believe that walking was never just movement for early humans. It was their fundamental natural state.
When you walk regularly, something remarkable and deeply healing begins happening inside your brain almost immediately afterward. The slow, continuous visual movement of your surroundings, called optic flow, actively calms your brain's deep fear center. It sends a clear signal to your amygdala that life is peacefully moving forward and no threat remains. It reassures your ancient survival brain that you are not trapped, not being hunted, and completely safe now. But walking alone is simply not powerful enough to fully melt the stubborn visceral fat around your organs. You also need to actively protect your muscle mass while simultaneously and steadily lowering your chronic cortisol levels. That is precisely where heavy resistance training enters as your second most critical and transformative daily weapon. Lifting heavy weights sends a direct, powerful, and unmistakable anabolic signal deep into your body's survival programming. It communicates clearly to your biology that you are strong, capable, well-fed, and absolutely not in starvation mode. This powerful signal directly and aggressively opposes everything that chronically elevated cortisol is trying to do to you. Heavy lifting actively stimulates the production of testosterone and growth hormone inside your body with every single session. These two hormones are your most potent and natural biological weapons against ongoing visceral fat storage in the belly. When you consistently build muscle, your body becomes significantly more sensitive to insulin than it was previously before. Instead of redirecting excess glucose into dangerous belly fat storage, your body can now efficiently use it as fuel.
Muscle tissue gives your bloodstream somewhere far healthier and more productive to send all that circulating excess energy. Walking steadily reduces your stress. Strength training protects your muscle, rebalances your hormones, and completely rewires your metabolism. Together, these two complementary forms of purposeful movement begin seriously weakening and dismantling the fortress of visceral fat. The next absolutely critical pillar in permanently defeating visceral fat is deeply understanding the power of nutritional timing. It is never only about what specific foods you eat. It is equally about precisely when you eat them. Cortisol naturally follows a very specific and important daily rhythm that modern life constantly and severely disrupts. Under normal and healthy biological conditions, cortisol should peak in the morning to energize and prepare you. By nighttime, your cortisol levels should drop significantly so your body can deeply rest, recover, and repair itself. But modern daily habits completely and harmfully flip this natural healing rhythm upside down in damaging ways. Late-night caffeine consumption keeps your cortisol dangerously and unnaturally elevated at exactly the time it should drop. Sugary snacks consumed before bed spike your insulin levels at the absolute worst possible metabolic time of day. This harmful combination keeps your body trapped in alert and emergency mode when it desperately needs restorative healing. To repair this broken and inverted rhythm, you must consciously begin working with your natural biology every day. Start your morning with a high-protein breakfast that supports dopamine production and actively stabilizes your nervous system.
This meal fuels your thyroid and sets a steady metabolic pace without triggering a sharp and damaging insulin spike. Then, do something that sounds counterintuitive but is backed by impressive science and consistently delivers remarkable results. Shift your complex carbohydrate intake toward the evening rather than loading heavy carbs early during your morning hours. Carbohydrates stimulate serotonin production inside your brain, which naturally and gradually converts into melatonin during sleep overnight. Melatonin is your body's primary sleep hormone and is absolutely essential for recovering properly from chronic daily stress. Eating complex carbs in the evening naturally and effectively lowers your nighttime cortisol without requiring any additional supplements. This dietary shift helps your body finally exit its defensive emergency mode and enter a deep restorative repair state. This brings us directly to the single most powerful, yet most consistently and tragically neglected weapon against visceral fat. That weapon is sleep. And without prioritizing it deeply, every other strategy will deliver only frustratingly limited results. Just one single night of poor and insufficient sleep can reduce your insulin sensitivity by nearly 50%. If you regularly sleep fewer than 7 hours each night, your body genuinely and literally interprets this as threat. Your body responds almost as though you have physically injured yourself or entered a dangerous prolonged famine period. Cortisol rises sharply the following morning to keep you alert, and this automatically accelerates visceral fat storage immediately. This explains precisely why so many people feel simultaneously tired and wired, deeply exhausted yet completely unable to sleep. Their stress chemistry is simply and stubbornly refusing to disengage and allow their bodies any genuine overnight recovery. Improving your sleep is not an act of laziness or weakness. It is a powerful and essential metabolic strategy. A cool, completely dark room and a highly consistent nightly routine signal to your nervous system that you are safe. When your body fully believes it is genuinely safe, it begins slowly releasing the emergency fat it has been protecting. You must also directly address the chemistry of chronic stress at the micronutrient level inside your body daily. A body surviving in constant emergency mode burns through its essential minerals at an incredibly rapid and damaging rate. Magnesium, widely known as the relaxation mineral, is almost always the very first critical nutrient to become depleted. When your magnesium levels fall too low, your nervous system becomes overly sensitive and fires stress responses too easily. Cortisol rises far more quickly, your anxiety intensifies, and your body sinks deeper into its dangerous survival emergency mode. Restoring magnesium, especially using the well-absorbed form called magnesium glycinate, helps calm your chronically overactive stress response system. You gradually quiet a nervous system that has been locked on dangerous high alert for far too long. Certain natural plant-based adaptogens have also shown consistently powerful results in meaningfully reducing chronic cortisol levels over time. Ashwagandha and rhodiola are two of the most thoroughly researched and reliably effective adaptogens widely available today. They do not magically dissolve stored fat. They quiet the relentless internal noise trapping your body in emergency mode. When that persistent internal noise finally quiets, your body can hear one deeply important and liberating biological signal. That signal communicates clearly that it is now completely safe to stop storing emergency fat and begin burning it. Another surprisingly effective strategy involves intentionally exposing your body to short, controlled, and carefully managed bursts of acute stress. Scientists call this hormesis, and it remains one of the most underutilized tools available in metabolic health today. Short cold exposure, like brief cold showers, initially triggers a sharp cortisol spike inside your body immediately afterward. But with consistent repetition, this controlled stress powerfully trains your nervous system to recover from stress much faster. Your resting baseline cortisol levels gradually and reliably drop as your overall resilience to daily stress steadily increases. Cold exposure also activates a special metabolically active tissue inside your body called brown adipose fat tissue. Brown fat burns stored energy to generate body heat, actively and meaningfully supporting your overall metabolic fat-burning capacity. Finally, we must directly and honestly address the deepest and most overlooked root cause of visceral fat altogether. Visceral fat is undeniably a physical condition, but its most powerful and consistent trigger originates inside your mind. Your brain genuinely cannot distinguish between real physical danger and the perceived psychological danger you create through thought. If your daily life consistently feels like one endless emergency, your body responds as though you are under attack. Deep diaphragmatic breathing is not simply a calming spiritual ritual reserved for yoga practitioners and meditation enthusiasts only. It is a direct and measurable physiological command that genuinely and rapidly changes your body's internal stress chemistry. When you breathe deeply and slowly, you directly stimulate the vagus nerve and activate your parasympathetic nervous system. This activates your rest and digest state, the only biological condition where your body feels genuinely and completely safe. In this precious biological state, your body finally feels secure enough to release its deeply guarded emergency fat reserves. Deep breathing is completely free, always accessible, and among the fastest available methods to meaningfully lower cortisol quickly. Losing visceral fat permanently is never simply about punishing yourself relentlessly or relying exclusively on sheer personal willpower alone. It is a deep, ongoing, and respectful negotiation with your biology and millions of years of evolutionary programming. Visceral fat once faithfully protected your ancient ancestors from starvation, devastating winters, and sudden life-threatening environmental danger. It was a powerful survival shield specifically designed to keep your bloodline alive when the world was truly dangerous. But to genuinely thrive in today's modern world, your body urgently needs to receive a completely new message. The danger has fully passed. The famine is absolutely not coming. The emergency is completely over right now. When you consistently prioritize deep and restorative sleep every night, your stress hormones begin falling naturally and automatically. When you build strength through purposeful lifting and daily walking, your hormones rebalance and your metabolism actively heals. When you thoughtfully align your eating habits with your natural cortisol rhythm, your body finally starts working with you. When you restore your essential minerals, calm your nervous system deeply, and meaningfully reduce your daily chronic stress levels, everything shifts. Something truly remarkable and profoundly life-changing begins happening deep inside your body from that transformative point forward. You do not simply lose weight gradually, you completely reset your hormones back to their healthy and natural state. You permanently shut off the ancient emergency alarm that has been running non-stop inside your exhausted body for years. And when that ancient survival alarm finally goes completely silent, something beautiful and powerful happens inside you at last. The fortress of visceral fat that once loyally protected your life finally and permanently begins to break down completely. It dissolves slowly, and in its place, a healthier, stronger, calmer, and more energized version of you finally emerges.